What is good, YouTube? Warstu here, addressing the rumors. So it turns out Robert Pattison, Mr. Twilight himself, is actually going to be the next interpretation of Bruce Wayne on the big screen. Now, his movie is scheduled to come out in 2021, but as we know, guys, these things tend to change. So Robert Pattison recently broke his silence, broke his sabbatical, broke the internet in a way by talking about his experience through the whole process of becoming Batman, putting the suit on for the first time, and also the backlash of him becoming Batman. So what is good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the pop culture based videos. Now, there is a lot of DC stuff coming up in the next couple of months to years. We have the Joker movie coming out in 4 weeks' time. Then we have Birds of Prey in February 2020. There is a trailer that is out on the internet. It's leaked somehow, but apparently, according to sources, you can only watch the real trailer in the cinema, which I guess is going to be popped in there in time for It Part 2 movie that comes out this Friday. So let's get into this video. So if we ever hit 100,000 subscribers, guys, I will be giving away a PS4 Pro with Spider-Man, PS4 Game of the Year, or Gears of War 5 and an Xbox One X. All you got to do is just go to the channel and let me know down below why should I pick you. So I give away an EndGame on Blu-ray tomorrow. Same rules apply. Subscribe to the channel and let me know down below why should I pick you. So I did cover a lot of the Batman stuff a long time ago. It was 7 months ago now, back in January, when I was talking about the Matt Reeves update, that Penguin was supposed to be in a movie, Jonah Hill was rumored to be playing him, the Riddler. So let's go over what Robert Pattison had to say about becoming Batman, because it's quite a big role to take. Now, what is interesting is he did say in a recent interview that he wanted the role and he was tracking the role for a lot longer than what people actually thought. I had Batman in my mind for a while. It's such an obstinate thing to say. I sort of had an idea to do it, and I'd been prodding Matt, obviously Matt Reeves, the director. He didn't accept any prods. I kept asking to meet him. Matt Reeves eventually met Robert Pattison after finishing the script for the Batman movie. The actor has since auditioned with the Bat suit and beat out every other competition, including Nicholas Hoult, etc. The Batman is set to be Robert Pattinson's first blockbuster since Edwin Colt. In the Twilight Saga, secret Twilight fan here, don't hate me. While speaking to Variety, Pattison revealed why he avoid big movies after playing vampire heartthrob Edwin. Big movies, generally the parts aren't as interesting, at least the stuff that was coming my way. I guess there was some fear. I think I probably would have been a little bit nervous to have gone straight into it immediately afterward, he says about Batman. The actor also revealed his feelings to reaction to his replacing Ben Affleck as Batman. To be honest, it was less volatile than I was expecting. It was much more fun when you're an underdog. There's no expectation for you, or of you, so to speak. So it is interesting how the rumors, addressing the rumors, that everyone, including myself, was a little bit skeptical, because everyone, including Armie Hammer, was being casted for this role. Literally every single person under the bus was rumored to be playing the next Batman. Now, I will leave the Variety article down below, which is very interesting. So this article came out and the title is Robert Pattison on Becoming Batman and Why the Lighthouse is Just Weird Enough. Robert Pattison couldn't stop Googling himself. In mid-May, the 33-year-old actor found himself obsessively refreshing his phone on a flight from Los Angeles to South France. Pattison was heading to the film festival for the world premiere of The Lighthouse just days before he was set to start shooting the Christopher Nolan movie. But someone had tipped off the press about another top-secret project. The whole entire world was now reporting Pattison had been cast for Batman. Now, the thing is, when you make videos like this, guys, you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt, because even if it comes from Deadline, Variety, or a less reputable source, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, because it might not be true. So this is a very, very long article. So it is interesting that it said Pattison hadn't even auditioned at this point, and he was horrified that all the chatter would spook Warner Bros, because Warner Bros tend to get scooped really easy. Executives in not hiring him. When the thing leaked, I was furious furious, Pattison recalls, on a recent rainy afternoon lunch. Everyone was upset. Everyone was panicking from my team. I sort of thought I'd blown the whole thing. Now, it is interesting how these kind of things leak. Without even him auditioning, it had already broke on the internet. It does make me believe that people inside these companies just secretly leak stuff on purpose. So it is pretty interesting. So if you don't know who he is, he essentially was the main star of a trilogy called Twilight, and it was really popular back in the day. It was very, very popular. So let's go over more of what he had to say. So like I said before, it is interesting that he says it's much more fun when you're the underdog and you've got no expectation. So no one's got any expectation for Robert Pattinson. But if you haven't watched any of the movies, I really do think he will have a stellar position in this. And what is interesting is he also goes on to say that he had an informal meeting with Marvel around the time the Guardians of the Galaxy came out, but nothing came of it. I don't know what I would be really chasing, Pattison says. The idea of trying to transition after Twilight and never sort of road into the direction of Batman was different because he was the only comic book character Pattison always loved. It's actually an interesting part, he says. I think it's because that he doesn't have any superpowers, because essentially Batman is someone with gadgets who essentially is realistically just a badass fighter trained by the League of Assassins, etc., the League of Shadows, whichever variation of the story you want to go. So it is pretty interesting, and I think he could do a stellar role. Before he takes on Gotham City, Pattison will first head to the Lighthouse. So he's got a few projects before this movie comes out. Like I say, it's not coming out to 2021, which it's a while away, and the article essentially does promote this movie massively because I don't really know anything about it. But he went on to say about his first time putting the Batman suit on, and it's pretty interesting. It would be pretty cool to get to wear the real Batsuit. So he says, Pattison promptly flew back to LA to try on the Batsuit for the final phase of high-stake auditions. It's maybe the craziest thing I've ever done in terms of movie stuff, Pattison says. I put on it, and I remember saying to Matt, it doesn't quite feel transformative. He was like, I would hope it does. You're literally in the Batsuit. Pattison describes what the moment was like. You do feel very powerful immediately, and it was pretty astonishing. Something that is incredibly difficult to get into. So the ritual of getting into it is pretty humiliating. You've got 5 people trying to shove you into something. Once you got it on, it's like, yeah, I feel strong. I feel tough. Even though I had to, as someone, squeeze my butt cheeks into it, because these suits are very tight. They're most likely, for most people that don't actually have muscle, they're muscle suits, so they have to be tight to have latex in them to make the character appear bigger. Although he had a clear take on Batman to adjust to his movement of the latex body, you're trying to think of a way to balance how to bring something new to it. And I don't want to scare people off, Pattison said, and work in the confines of a costume. 5 days later, he officially became the Dark Knight. I was absolutely revealed when Matt called me, Pattison says, who got the role over Nicholas Hoult. In fact, Pattison received the career-changing news on the first day of filming the Nolan's film. It's bizarre, he said. So it is interesting that he said it was intimidating putting the Batman suit on for the first time, and that is pretty interesting because it would be. Pattison says he doesn't know whether he's committed to additional Batman movies. I don't know anything, he says. I got an idea of about 4 scenes, and then I'm working on the rest gradually. So it is very interesting that the news broke about this before he even was officially Batman. So he says this, I definitely should not say that. I'm not so used to pretty house movies where you can watch the movie 3 times and still don't know what it is about. It's likely that playing Batman will invite the paparazzi back into his life, but it's not concerning. He says that Instagram has taken the pressure off movie stars because there's so much freedom for photo content of celebrities and wannabes on the internet. There's no money in it to follow people, to follow them around. Pattison says, there are just so many photos of me you can get hold of in a black baseball cap, getting a Diet Peach snaps, or on a Friday night getting a Kit Kat. Like Bruce Wayne, Pattison has taken shelter in his own Batcave. I made it impossible for people to follow me. He said, I'd be completely hermetic. It wouldn't be worth it waiting outside my house because I wouldn't come out. So it's very interesting that he's not against the media or social media papping him, but he says he's going to make it pretty hard. So it is interesting that, yeah, he's Batman. It's official. He spoke about the suit. He spoke about how he got the role. He spoke about obviously replacing Ben Affleck, which I still think is a shame to this day, but it's going to be very interesting to see where this role actually takes him in the long run. I do think he would smash it. It's not really a hard role for anyone to nail when you think about it. It is a pretty simple role. You just have to be able to hit the nail on the hard when you do have them hard scenes. And there was a bit of a fan backlash, but to be honest, guys, his Twilight following is so big still that this movie will be successful. And as you guys know, if you are an OG subscriber, this channel was predominantly DC realistically massively, so I will be going back to roots. I will be covering every single DC movie there will be. If you are new to the channel, I am very much a DC kind of person who follows DC stuff. There's hundreds of DC videos on this channel, so I will be covering more Batman news, but as we know, it is like 2021, so it's a very long way, but they are rumoredly starting to shoot within the next 6 months to a year, so I will keep you up to date with all the latest and greatest stuff. Birds of Prey, I will be getting on that stuff as well. So guys, if you want more content like this, just make sure to please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.